I'm going to do a real quick, short update on the guns and ammo crisis and shortage. I kind of been putting videos out since all this started well over a year ago, and we all know the reasons or whatever. And the recent sanctions against the Russians, which stopped the import of Russian manufactured ammunition, supposedly 2 years from now, I guess. But I had to go into town, so, and I also said that I refuse to just go into Sportsman's Warehouse and Academy Sports. Like when I first started reporting, I went to those two stores, they're close by. But I already had to go up into town for something, so it wasn't that much out of my way to go and look. Now I went to both of them, I'd say about a month ago, and we'll start with Sportsman's Warehouse. Fairly large store, okay. When I went in there, it's pretty amazing. I go in there for reloading components. And how they restock is sporadic and at different times of the day. Like I went in there, it was close to noon, and they were stocking the one ammo shelf. Now, when I went in there, there was no powder and no primers. I went in there a month ago and they had some powder out, and I found one type that I liked, and you can only get 1 pound at a time, so I bought it. Wasn't much in terms, there was no powder whatsoever, so no primers. There was a bunch of dies, a lot of the reloading equipment, dies, shell holders, powder measures, presses, even the shot shell presses, mech presses, were on the shelf and in stock. So if you're looking for reloading components or reloading equipment, that is stocked up. Now when I went to the black powder area, and again, fall is coming and the hunting season is coming, there was always Pyrex or some black powder substitute there. During this whole crisis, there were numerous cans, say like 5, 8 cans. I went there, I think there were 2, all right? And they had a whole shelf of lead balls, different sizes, and they were down to where, you know, it was a couple feet and a big choice to where there was just a small section. So obviously the ammo makers are not producing them, or it's just they're not restocking them. It's an item probably that doesn't move, and it's dwindling down there probably. And like I said, hunting season's coming. A lot of guys that go for the black powder season probably bought the stuff, so that was pretty lacking. They had some shotgun shells, that was there. They have an aisle, and mostly hunting, birdshot, and I didn't even look for buckshot or defense rounds. And then the ammunition, where they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aisles, I would say. And like that first video I made, they had pallets in the aisles, the main aisle, stacked with 9mm, 40 and all that, and all kinds of stuff. And now I remember going in there, say 6 months ago, there were a couple aisles with ammunition. It started dwindling. Now they have one side of a shelf. So you used to have it be 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 sides of these shelves full, all the way from top to bottom with ammo. Now they have one side of a shelf, and it was very scattered. It's their whole ammo supply, and they were stocking it there right there in the afternoon. They had 22s, this, that, and everything, and each shelf would have a small, you know, whatever, like a little case. They put out a case at a time. There were a few different calibers. Of course, 2 employees were stocking it. They had a bunch of different calibers, and anything from 22 to hunting ammo was all there, and it was only on the one shelf and very little. And you could only buy, I think, 3 boxes. I don't know what the limit is. There is a limit. Now, the only good thing is it's a large store and has one of them wraparound walls for long guns. That looked fairly full again. Okay, I went in there after the election in the spring, and it was like, I think there were 10 guns. The thing must hold about 80 guns if you put them all around. And it's 22 shotguns, used guns, new guns. Say 80, 100 guns, and there wasn't even 5 or 10 or less, okay? So they got a pretty good inventory on the wall there. And then as far as handguns, it was quite sparse there. They had, at one point, a few months ago, basically nothing, and a whole bunch of old used revolvers and strange things in one case at the end, and maybe a few extremely expensive models of handguns in there. But now, all them old used guns are gone, and the used guns they have in there, they have an assortment. More modern weapons. I didn't see any revolvers. I don't know what they did with them all. And Taurus Spectrums, there's still a dozen or two of those Taurus Spectrums in there. And there was a pretty good selection of different companies, you know, Smith & Wesson, everybody else. Some really nice, expensive firearms. There was a good selection. I would say there's 1, 2, 3. They had just about all the pistol cases full again, okay, on one wall, where they used to have that, another partial set of cases, but all of that's now rifle scopes and accessories. But still, I mean, they didn't even have 2 sections full at one time. So they have guns back. But ammunition, if you're the type of person that goes to a retail store, you're going to find that even though they have ammunition come in, it's very small quantities and it sells out fast. A lot of gun shops, somebody was telling me about another gun shop. The minute the guy puts out ammo, it's gone in a day or two, okay, whatever his shipment is. So then we go down the street to Academy Sports. Now, Academy Sports people have been telling me it's a little bit better in one way. Again, they used to have an aisle on both sides with ammo and reloading. You know, a lot of shelves, a lot of selection. Their selection was not as wide, or they didn't normally stock as many different calibers and brands as Sportsman's Warehouse. But, you know, it used to be pretty full. Again, you go in there, there's one small section of the shelves full. And they do put out, because when my friend called me when they had 9mm for $24 a box of 50, they put a lot of it out there. You were limited to 4 boxes. They had 9mm, they had Winchester 223 or 5.56, 55 grain bullet, full metal jacket. You could get it in 20 round boxes. You could get it in a 200 round pack, and they had a 500 round pack, and a bunch of them. They had a bunch of them, okay? So if you needed a lot, if you wanted 500 rounds of 223, now I don't know if they limit you to 3 boxes of the bulk, but it was upwards close to 4. It was in the high 300s for that 500 round box. And yeah, I looked at it, 3 something. You figure with sales tax, it's going to be close, you know, up there, $400. Which I remember at the time, you could get Lake City Green Tip, you know, in a bulk box, 1,000 rounds, for $400, $375 or whatever. So it's about double the price, but it's there, okay? Compared to when all of this first started and that guy went in there buying 100 round packs of 223 from Tula, steel case Tula ammo, and was paying $100 for a 100 round pack of steel cased ammo, which is like a $10 or $12 item in reality before all this started. So he's paying $100. And I remember he went in there, stood outside, stood in line, went through, got his 3 boxes of ammo, paid $100 a piece, and this is a true story. I have no reason not to believe this individual. When he stepped outside, someone gave him $300 for a $12 box of ammo, which is probably true. Okay, the war has not come yet, at least I didn't know about it. But I mean, this is crazy. But the current situation is, if you're, if you want to go there and look, you can get the ammunition, and they got the popular stuff, 9mm, 223, and like 38 are super popular. I don't know about other calibers. They had a few other different calibers in there, but the ammo producers are going to make what people are demanding. In most defensive guns or defending your home, the 9mm, 223, and the 12 gauge shotguns with buckshot. Those are probably the top 3. Then maybe the 7.62 by 39, your other assorted handgun calibers, 38, 45, 40. I found 40s are not that popular. A lot of people have them, but they're not as popular as the 9mm. Oh, and let's not forget 380, which most concealed carry pocket pistols, very popular caliber, 380. So, and I don't know if they had any of that. I think they had some 380 there. I really didn't look in Sportsman's Warehouse. Like I said, there were 2 guys trying to stack this stuff as fast as they could. You really couldn't see what the hell was there. But it's very limited. So that's the current situation. Locally, it is, you can find ammo. It's going to cost more than pre-panic prices. But I think if you're the type of person that goes to a retail outlet, you should start trying to buy online. And I'll make a separate video and discuss that. I know it's a whole different kind of thing, and a lot of people, because I get a lot of comments, obviously these people are not buying ammo online and having it mailed to them. Okay. That may be a way to go, but that's going to be a separate video. But that's the situation right now as it is. Really, you can get certain types of ammo. Some stuff's probably going to be hard to find. How long this is going to go on, I've heard estimates when they said that there was I know last year and a half backlog on all sales of all ammunition. I've heard that now the backlog is down to like 6 or 8 months, whatever that is an indicator, but to where we will see things in a normal situation where you could go back into Sportsman's Warehouse and see, 3-4 aisles full of ammunition stocked. I doubt very much that it will happen this year. Okay, and reloading components, it's almost impossible to find primers and powder. I have no idea. I doubt, again, this year, forget it. I don't see it going back. But that's my take on it. All right, stay tuned.